It's always in retrospect that I imagine how much more I could have committed to a moment, how much more brave I could have been and confident in myself. And I'm addicted to meeting my own growing edges and doing exposure therapy in the comfort of my own spaces so that the world seems a lot less jarring when I go out into it. And making art is definitely a practice that is challenging for me. And it's really for me about committing to the vision I'm trying to create, even if it looks messy or ugly throughout the process of conception. And I just wanted to dive into that with you today. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to be alone for the next 24 hours in this off-grid shack. No electricity, no service, and I really want to challenge myself to make art for the next 24 hours. I have some canvases that I thrifted and primed, some old projects I want to finish, and my typewriter. This really just feels like a dopamine detox for me, so maybe we can share the moment together, and I'm just really excited to have a full day to make art. Whatever that looks like for me, I don't really know. Let's fuck around and find out. I'm going to prime these thrifted canvases one more time. I think these are both from a paint and sip. You can kind of see there's a Starry Night painting underneath, and I'm just going to put one more layer over these and let those dry while I work on this big canvas. So my thought process with the canvas behind me was that I have not picked up a paintbrush in months, and I just want to reacclimate myself with the different techniques that I can do with a paintbrush, what it feels like to work with acrylics, and what colors I could mix together. So I decided to make a color oracle. Each little rectangle is meant to make you feel something different, and I'm going to write out a little description of each color and what it means, and maybe it'll come with a prompt so anyone who walks into the space can sort of choose a color and have a reading given back to them. It was really just an experiment for me to remember what it feels like to paint and to create something abstract, because I actually don't like creating abstract paintings. I like to draw and paint exactly what I see. So it feels like a little growing edge for me to just make random blobs of color. But I've been enjoying it because each color really does make me feel a different type of way. It has been about 2 hours. I feel like I've made such little progress, and I'm at the point where I'm just repainting everything because I don't like it. And I feel like this scene from this one movie, I forget the name of, where this girl is releasing all of her emotions on the canvas. She's acting so serious and like this brooding artist, and then the canvas is revealed and it's literally a stick figure. Like, that is the level of painting that I'm at. But I know it's not about the result. It's just about the process of facing oneself. And anytime that I look at any artist, whether I appreciate and connect to their work or not, what I'm truly seeing is someone who has faced themselves for hours on end, for years on end. And to me, that's what art is partially about, is just facing yourself and translating whatever's going on inside. So at least I'm doing that. I can't even look at this painting right now. Something that I like to do when I'm creating is to keep the energy feeling fresh. So I'm going to move on to my still life, which feels like my comfort zone. It's really not that serious and it's not that deep. I just, I want to make pretty things, but it's not always going to be that way. So I'm going to take a break from this one, move my body a little bit, and just move on. It's time to move on. finished love letter number 1, and I started to write a journal entry, which I really like to do on my typewriter, and then I'll paste it into my journal later. But I'm writing the steps of the artist process. First, the idea, a living pulse of possibility. Maybe it was a color or sound, a film, or the way that last hug felt, the following walk home in melancholic twilight. Step 2, gathering materials. Anticipation only builds. Images of art making seemingly cast in gold. Expression feels unencumbered. Step 3, facing the music. And that's where I'm at right now. Let me extrapolate on this thought. The mosquitoes are starting to come out the woodworks, and I'm getting a little snacky, so I'm gonna take a walk/snack break. I feel like such an auntie wearing loose baggy jeans, a loose t-shirt, and I'm about to put my boots on. So this is a vibe.
Tell me you'll answer if I call you tonight. I'd ask you to meet me by the Hollywood sign. Break up the mountain with the wind in our hair.
Evening is upon us. The lighting is a bit shit after this hour, so I'm going to tune back in with you in the morning. I'm going to be up pretty late though, just painting. I feel like I haven't gotten much done at all because I keep repainting these little squares because it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't sit right. There's something about art where, like, even if you're making something abstract, you know when it's finished or when it feels balanced in your body, you feel it, and it's just not there yet. I have definitely gone through so many internal narratives in my head from the moment I started filming this video. I felt like my thoughts were so loud, and now they're so calm, and I've really settled into my quietness and my solitude, and that's exactly how I feel every single time I go out into nature, especially after being in the city or being, you know, connected to Wi-Fi and cellular data. It's like I need to take time to unplug and slow down my thoughts, and it definitely is a process of shedding those intensely judgmental layers or just a need to be entertained in some way and to tune back into the slower pace of being. And it's just really interesting how every single doorway home, whether it's nature or yoga or breathwork or painting or lovemaking, will initially come with some heavy contrast. Like the moment that you really get intimate with your thoughts and feelings, it can feel really intense, but over time it softens. It's like all the thoughts just kind of land after you've acknowledged them and you can return back to what you're doing. So anyway, I'm glad I didn't give up on this video the way that I wanted to, because I've really enjoyed painting and I'm gonna keep doing it until I see you tomorrow. Good night.
Head to the ocean, salt in the air.
Good morning. I survived the night. It was a lot less mosquito-y than I thought, and I've just spent the morning laying in bed. I feel like a little baby every time I'm in a canopy bed and I'm looking up. It just feels very childlike. But I'm going to end this video here. I realize I'm a very slow painter and it's literally like watching paint dry, watching me paint. I was going to continue painting all day today. My friends actually invited me to this workshop to learn about herbal and plant medicines, and I was going to bike to Wi-Fi this morning and cancel on them to keep painting, but then I decided that I really want to learn that and I don't want to keep being in this chamber of reflection. I am truly in an extroverted season where every single day, if I could choose between being alone or being with my close friends, I will choose my friends. Most of my life historically have not been this way, and even a year ago I would be anxious for my alone time most of the time, and now it's just like I don't ever want to be alone, and it's kind of crazy. I'm really leaning into it though. I think it's because I spent so much time alone after my breakup traveling, and it felt really isolating, and I'm just like valuing human connection more than I ever have. And now I only want to go to places where I can stay with friends and know people. And so I've been living with my friend Reese, and it feels so good. It feels so good to have someone around all the time to do errands with and be goofy with, and have little therapy sessions with constantly. And okay, I'm just rambling right now, but it's the first time in my life where I feel like I am comfortable talking and sharing about my feelings without a filter and without some time limit in my head. Because for most of my life around friends or really in any social setting, I would keep every single thought very concise, very synthesized. I would stop talking within like 2 minutes. I didn't want to take up too much space. I was just so aware of how much space I was taking up, and I think that always created a slight wall between my friends and I, because I was filtering myself, or I just didn't let myself feel fully comfortable. And then when I was struggling with my gut health issues really bad, I was feeling a lot of life-ending thoughts. I opened up to them about that, and I was crying so hard that the bed was shaking. It was after we watched Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants together, and that completely unveiled me, because I am very independent and slightly avoidant, and I would rather just show up as my best self around people that I love. I don't want to like be a burden, make people worry about me at all. I always handle my shit, but I was feeling so low in those moments, and opening up to them about that and showing how vulnerable and raw and just decrepit I felt really brought us so much closer. And it was from that moment that I finally felt comfortable to take up space, because it was like all of me was revealed. And granted, all of my friends know my past, they watch my videos, they know my experiences, but I never actually talked to them in the moment where I was feeling them. You know, I can talk so easily about depression or anxiety in retrospect, but in that moment of weakness, it is so vulnerable, and doing that just changed everything. And now I just feel like I can just be completely myself, and there's no need to take space from people that I love, because I'm just showing up as myself. And it's really starting to translate into my actual bloodline family relationships and new people that I'm meeting. Like, I just feel a newfound confidence, and I feel like that always happens when you welcome all of yourself without shame, without fear or smallness. Sometimes it feels like ripping off a band-aid, but once you're there, you're like, oh, literally all of me can take place here, and nothing bad is going to happen. I can change, I can be breaking out, gain weight, lose weight. As long as I'm welcoming my full self to each now moment, there's really nothing wrong that can happen. And I think that just struggling the past few months really exemplified that to me. Every single practice feels like a doorway back into that welcoming. It feels like there's no more walls left, and you can just be the embodiment that you are. I hope that makes sense, but it's just like, we spend so much time judging and perceiving ourselves. Are we good? Are we bad? Is what I'm making embarrassing? What are people going to think of this? And when you neutralize all of that, then you're just sitting with who you are, like the information that's there, and you're like, huh, now I just am. Like, there's no external judgment. I just am here with it. It's a very subtle, it's a slight mindset shift. I don't know if you're picking up on it, babes, but that's what I'm trying to allude to in all of my videos, really. But anyway, I just can't seem to be alone for very long, so I'm not going to be painting for 24 hours. That was more like, I would say 6 or 7 hours, and at my snail's pace, not much was accomplished, to be honest. But I am, you know, art is the thing that I do that is completely free. I don't like make money off of my paintings. I'm not thinking that I'm good. I didn't take any classes. I just enjoy it, and I want to keep it sacred like that, and I don't want to force that art practice in any way. Thank you so much for watching, my internet homies, and I will see you in a video soon, I hope. Happy art making. Reese and I are house sitting a friend's house, which is why we're not living here full time, just for 1 week. So we'll be back here, but we have electricity at our friend's house, so we've been enjoying that. Okay, bye.
Why was I running so perfect?
Reese and I are going to do a DIY that I saw on the TikToks, and we are going to hold each other in an eternal embrace by painting our arms and hugging one another. And we thrifted these shirts, so let's see how it goes. Ooh, it feels good. Hug me, Date. Okay, so I'll go up. Everything. Okay.
Do you think it's good?
3, 2, 1.
I feel like mine is not that,
Visible?
it's like kind of visible. Okay, let me look over your shoulder. Wait, it's so hard.
Me just wanting physical affection. Want to do this DIY? So that's realistically what it might look like if you do this DIY. If you did it on like a white shirt, maybe it would be more visible, but we chose to do jerseys.
Because we're sporty like that.
Sporty. Okay, thanks for joining us for this segment, Reese.
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to be here. I mean that.
Okay, we have to dry off now.
Yeah, I know. Now we're just like, so. I feel like I'm wearing gloves.